Hey everybody, really crazy messy hair day here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Here I am with crazy messy hair. A friend of mine said I should just let my hair get really wild. So they got their wish. I want to address a really beautiful, lovely question that I was presented in one of the comments of one of my videos. And what that is if someone we care about has lost someone they love, what's a good way, what are ways we can show them we care and support them? And I will probably do a series of videos to answer this question because it's a big one and it's one that's really close to my heart. But I'll start with this. I think the biggest way and the most simple way is to ask them how they're doing around their grief. And you can present that knowing that you're not bringing it up or making them feel bad, because that's the concern that people have by asking. Their whole world has altered. If it's severe grief and it's someone who is very close to them and a big part of their life and a part of their heart, their whole world has altered. Their whole reality is completely different right now, and so it's going to take some time. It's not like you're going to be the one to be bringing it up or pressing on bruises by asking them. It's there front and center for them. So don't feel bad, number one, about bringing it up with them. And I teach this term in my classes, tending to grief. And I find that really key. It's a lot like tending to a garden. We tend to a wound. And what this means is we're doing something over time. If someone says they're a gardener and they're doing gardening, you know that they're spending time almost every single day with that garden to grow plants. And so same thing with grief. It's over a period of time, and it is very much the analogy of dressing a wound is what I like to use, because you can't just dress a wound one time and have this, cathartic cry or, have a moment where you really processed a lot of your deep feelings one time. You're going to be having to dress that wound every day, or it's going to get infected, it's going to fester. You can't just ignore it, right? And it will always be there too. If it's a deep wound, you're gonna always have a scar. So it's very similar with grief. So just knowing that about your loved one, this person who asked, how can I support them? Just knowing that would help you a lot, because it's gonna take subsequent times of asking them and being with them and being present with them. So that's the other way, is just being present with them and saying something like, let's say they lost their dad. Their dad died recently or months ago, and you know that they're really still very much in it. How are you doing around things with your dad? Because our culture is so funny about, like, people say that they passed away, this person passed, rather than using the word died. So I just always say that, like, just how are you doing around things with your dad? And that will open a lot. If you are truly curious and you can come at it from a non-judgmental, thinking they're supposed to feel a certain way, if you can do that, you will often open up a lot. I have a very dear one who just the other day we sat for our first one-on-one session. We're going to be working together doing grief coaching. And I asked her about her grief, and she had it laid out. And when she finished, I said, God, you can really articulate that. She had 3 areas. She lost her mom, she lost her dad, and then another area in life. I said, you really are great at articulating that. And I said, do you talk to people about this? She said, no. She said, nobody ever asks. Another example like that is we had a small fire happen here, and a friend was pretty sure the area might have been a friend's warehouse when we saw where it was located, where the fire had happened. But I asked him a week later, like, did you check in with your friend to see if that was their warehouse? And the answer was, and no judgment towards this person because we all do this, but his answer was like, no. And I said, why? And he said, because I don't know, I feel bad. You know, it's someone he hadn't talked to in a while. And I think that's what we do. We feel bad about bringing it up to a person. We feel like we're going to be pressing on a bruise and causing more discomfort. And it's a real fear. We don't want to say the wrong thing and make it worse. I get it. But I guess it maybe depends on how you bring it up. A person can sense if you're really curious about how they're doing and how they're feeling. And you can just leave it open-ended. How are you doing around this person who died? And they'll share what they need to share, but I would say that's probably the biggest gift you can do, is allow them to have the space to share a little bit and feel. And it might just be that all they have are tears. And we have to be okay with that. We have to know that if we bring it up, there might not be words around it. It might just be really heavy, deep feelings and emotions. And so that's the next thing I'll say, is a way to support someone is to get in touch with the grief you have not processed and work with yourself and within yourself, because we're really only able to be present with someone else's pain and that comes from grief and losing someone to the extent that we've looked at our own and supported ourselves and been supported and allowed ourselves to be supported by others. And so if you start feeling yourself getting antsy and it's really uncomfortable to be talking with someone about their grief, that's a good clue that you've got some of your own. And so take a look at that. You might not be the right person to talk with them, and you might not feel curious because you haven't even been curious about your own or honest with what you've got going on inside yourself. And a lot of this is just being honest, right? And just letting a person know, I don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to do, but I just want you to know I care about you, and I want to find and know ways to support you. And one suggestion I heard is that you might want to be asked once in a while, like, how you're doing around this specific area of your life, around your grief. And just knowing that they're going to be dealing with this for a while, they're adapting to a new reality, can help you come at it in a certain way. And another thing I want to say, and then I gotta cut it short because I can get going on this topic for hours, and that's what happened. I recorded one video and it was way too long. So actually I think I'll cut it right there. I'll talk about the next thing in the next part of this. It's going to be a series on grief. I'm deciding right here and now. Thank you so much for the person who asked this question. And everybody just know that none of us know how to do it right. I work with this stuff all the time and I don't know what to say. So the best thing is listening, really. Listening. Tell me about your person. Tell me about how you're feeling around your person. That's step one. All right. Aloha. It's a beautiful day here on Maui. Enjoy the ocean. Hopefully you could hear the ocean sounds. And hopefully my hair didn't throw you off too much because it's a little crazy. Aloha.